Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of making the Oin Gauntlet right here on the Evil Ted channel. Okay, while the creature cast is drying, we have our lens for the eyeball, and I would like this to light up. So I went ahead and got these little bright LED strips, which are fantastic. And I cut myself a foam base to go back here. So we're going to go rig up some lights on this. These guys are really, really long when you buy them. So as you can see in these strips here, and you see these little breaks here, this is where you can cut them to length. So you look closely. Plus and minus on both sides. So this is the part we can cut so you can get the desired length you want. So I just wanted about this much, but I'd like it, but I want to double it up. So we're going to cut another strip and we're going to solder some wire connecting these guys together. So I got some wire and I got my secondary piece and we're going to solder so that I don't burn my cutting mat. I have a piece of a slab of marble. I have some flux paste. Twist them a little bit. I kind of stick them in the flux paste. I have some flux wiring, and I'm going to put some flux onto the wire. There we go. Okay. Now there's some flux on it. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and do both sides because we're going to need this anyway. One thing, there's plenty of great videos out there on how to do electronics because I am not the guy to follow on that. Excellent. Got it? All right, there we go. Got them connected. Just like that. Come to think of it, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect both these wires here real quickly. I think I'll make it easier for me to wrap them around a little bit. Just to make sure they're working. Get my 9-volt battery. Oh, there it is. Success. Wow, that's great. And glue these guys like this. So I'm just going to put them, tack them down with some Zap-A-Gap. Perfect. So now, I'm gonna fit this inside. Yeah, maybe I should have made those wires a little shorter. What we'll do is I have a better idea. We're just gonna cut a slot. Let's do that like that and like that. So I don't want to bend them that much too. Just kind of do that. There we go. See? Ta-da! Problem solved. Like that. Perfect. We'll do the same thing here too. We'll go ahead and let's cut a slot back here. So we can bend this guy. Again, make it a little bit easier to fit in there. Right. Yeah, like that. Perfect. The other thing I'm going to do is this light's going to be very, very bright. So we're going to diffuse this. So you're thinking, how are we going to diffuse this? And most of you can probably get behind here and sand the plastic to diffuse it, but it always doesn't kind of get scratchy looking. So what we're going to do is get some fiber fill. This stuff right here. Let's stuff it back here and then diffuse it like a big glowing ball. I know it's kind of hard to guys to see in the video, but it kind of knocks it down quite a bit, right? Oh, tell you what, I think the gauntlet should be dry now. Let's go ahead and grab the Oin Gauntlet. In theory, we'll take this glowing eyeball. Oh yeah, see, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. So that makes me realize too that I need to figure out if I'm painting, I got to focus on that edge. I'm going to take a fine tip Sharpie and we're going to draw on the outside of our lens. My piece of paper. Now you can see the black line. Tell you what, let's make that a little bigger. Maybe we do it with a bigger Sharpie. While I have this, let's go ahead and look and see what kind of colors I have that I can use. All right, I have my, this is Tamiya blue clear, and this is my lens, and we're going to paint this on the inside. And what we're going to worry about is the stuff that shows beyond the Sharpie line. That's the stuff that's going to show the most. So we're going to start with the clear, my Pache airbrush. A lot of people have different brands of airbrushes out there, but I love this particular brand because I spray so much stuff through this, and they're easy to function, easy to clean. Not a lot of moving parts. It's just a great airbrush. I've put this through thick and thin, and it just keeps on working. So I love my airbrush. Love the Pache airbrush. When you sometimes have issues with your jar that doesn't want to open, you just take a heat gun and you warm it up. Ta-da! Works every time. Okay. I'm going to thin it down just a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit of alcohol. What I like to do is I open up my Pache airbrush and a little bit wide so I let the air flow through so I can let it bubble. What that does, that mixes the paint for me. We're going to turn it upside down and I'll hold it on a paper towel there so I can see the color going in because it's white. So it's good to have a nice white background. Okay, problem solved. I actually did have the dark blue that I wanted. So we're going to go ahead and load up the airbrush. The cool thing about this blue is it's not transparent, so that's what I want. Yep, that's it. Okay. So now I'm going to do another test. I'm going to use that light. So this time, even though the light's bright, I'll get a better idea what I'm trying. Yeah, see? That's it. See that? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I wanted. See? Look at that. That's what I wanted. The glowing eyeball. I like this. So the lens is done. So let's go ahead and start focus on painting the Oin Gauntlet itself. All right. I decided I'm going to go with some Plaid FX gold. We're going to airbrush this, of course, my airbrush jar. And when Plaid FX, when airbrushing, you can airbrush this stuff. It's great. You just have to thin it down with some window cleaner. So I usually do a 50-50 ratio. Do this in the spray booth. Let's get over there. There it is. Yeah, the seams look so much better now. It's all good. Now, I discovered this is the gold coin, and I found a lighter gold here. Golden hour is a little bit lighter, so I like it. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the airbrush, thin it down, and I'm going to airbrush and highlight the areas. I think the gold's good, but it's kind of solid, so that brings some a little bit more depth and texture to it. We're going to go back in with some lighter gold and just do the highlight areas. So let's take it to the spray booth. All right, there it is. It's very subtle, but again, I know it's hard to see on video, but you can actually see it in person. A little different shimmers, I like that. So our next step is the tendrils on here. Let's go ahead and paint these guys. We're definitely gonna do some aging and everything, but before I do that, let's go ahead and just base this out too. I have some the Plaid FX red. Let's paint this. All right, there it is. Really looks great. Get some oil paints and we're going to start aging and getting the nooks and crannies and darken them up a little bit. We're going to age it using some oil paint. I like taking some cardboard and covering foil over it. And I do this because when applying oil, I used to just do it strictly on the cardboard, but the oil would just kind of soak into the cardboard. Get some black. There you go. Let me get me some brown here. I got my old spatula here. I'm going to mix these guys together. And I take a stiff bristle brush like this guy. And we're going to load it up on the tip here. I'm going to go on my edges like this. And apply it. I'll take a big soft brush like this guy. See? And just blot it. See? Kind of fade it out a little bit. You can see I got way too much oil paint in there. Here, hold on. But no worries because you can do this, right? And then take a paper towel and you wipe off the excess like that. Yeah, see? There you go. That looks cool. Yeah, tell you what, let me get this. I like the oil to be a little thinner so it spreads evenly. So let me get. All right, I got some little bit of olive oil. I just added to the oil to make it a little bit softer. And it allows it to, you can also use like mineral spirits, which I do not have. So that's why I'm using olive oil. It allows it to thin it down a little bit so I can brush it in. all the spots now. Underneath here, I like this. This looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of make these guys pop a little more. I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do a little bit more black. All right, this has all been properly aged. Got the inside wrist straps done. Got the outside gauntlet looking good. Properly patinaed. We're gonna let this oil dry, so let's set this aside. Let's get back to our eyeball. All right, before we put these pieces together, on the eyeball, there was a Sharpie line we put on here so we knew where to paint. But we don't need that anymore, so let's go ahead and take that off with a little alcohol. All right. Install our light here, but I have my to help diffuse the light. I'm going to glue this lens in. All right, it's all dry. Fantastic. Okay, everything has been oil paint is dry and it's been clear coated. This looks great. So our next thing we're going to do is we're going to stick our eyeball in. Let me fire up my Surebonder glue gun. I want to extend the wires on this. All right, we have our wires. We're going to go ahead and solder these guys on, but before we do that, let's slide on some heat shrink tubing. Okay. When I do any soldering these guys, I like to make a little hook on this end. And now add a little bit of flux. There, done, soldered, nice. Now we take the heat shrink tubing to protect the wires like this. Slide them over that. Take a lighter. It shrinks the plastic. Man, this is great stuff. Look at that. Ta-da! And now the wire's protected. There we go. And now we're going to wire up the battery. All right, now let's get our battery. Make sure this is all wired up and working. Yep, it's working. Good. Okay, let's get this guy. Let's take the eyeball, like so. And to make sure the eyeball is where it needs to be, I kind of see it. Let's line it up first. Turn the battery on. It's great, doesn't it? Got my hot glue. And I love the Surebonder hot glue stick. The black ones are great. Now, we'll glue these wires down, but let's let this cool off first. All right, it's cooled off. Let's go ahead and glue this down. Show you one of my tricks I like to do is I take this guy and dab a whole bunch of hot glue in here. I take my Surebonder silicone pad and just hold it down. Silicone will smash the glue so it doesn't stick up too high, so I keep it low profile. And you just hold it till it cools off. See? It's cooled off and it's all pushed down. Nice and flat. See, I like that. I want to make a battery holder for this, and I have an idea. I have some elastic straps here, and I was going to stitch them together. It's a little bit, let me get some needle and thread. I love these hoop needles. These things have been a lifesaver for me. They're great for hand stitching. All right, now it's stitched up. We take this guy. There, see? That's it. Let me trim it down just a little bit, because here's our plan. When doing this, I use this particular LED light strip guys here. I should have used LEDs to run it off this, but I did not. So I like the power of these for the lighting. So we have to go ahead and just use a 9-volt battery. So we're just going to hot glue this in. Well, before I glue it, let's rough this up a little bit because there's paint and stuff on here. All right, with the guy, let me check this guy. We're going to hold that till it cools. All right, well, a miscalculation. Don't do this, because what happened was the hot glue worked great, but it soaked through the fabric and melted the plastic wrapping to the battery, and the battery stuck to it. So if you want to do this, I'd highly recommend you wrap masking tape around the battery itself. Then you can do this technique. Don't do it directly, because look what it did. So. All right, well, now it's glued in. We slide it. Let's go ahead and put it back in. The wires are a bit long, so let's go ahead and run them. Stuff them in the corner right here. Okay, let that cool. All right, we'll do a little dab of glue right here. All right, there it is. Nice low profile. So here's the moment of truth. Let's see if I can get my hand in here. Ta-da! Look at that. The Oni Demon Gauntlet is done. Ta-da! There it is, the Oni Gauntlet. I'll be honest, this came out way better than I expected. It was a lot of fun working with the foam clay. I don't do it often, and especially doing something organic. But again, I'm really happy how this turned out. Oh, by the way, everything I use on this video is listed just below the video. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, leave comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. If you guys like content like this, want to see more, please jump over to eviltedsmith.com where I have numerous patterns. And when we do some shopping for supplies, click on my Amazon link. By shopping through the Amazon link, helps me keep making videos. Also, if you like this shirt, I have more shirts as well. Go to my Teespring shop below the video. Think of that and do some shopping. Again, this is fun. I'm really happy. Like this series. Hopefully we'll have a new series, new season coming up for the show on Netflix. Again, it's also based on a video game as well. I know mostly the series, but not the game. But this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you back next time right here on the Evil Ted channel.